Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad, and today is Amazon Prime Big Spring Sales. Now is the time to buy some robot vacuum cleaners that I highly recommend. Now, all these robot vacuum cleaners that I'm going to show you and talk about, I have purchased with my own money so I can give you my honest opinion on them. Now, also the pricing I'm going to show you is right now. Prices are subject to change. But right now, when I'm making this video, these are the current sale prices of these robots. And full disclosure, I do use affiliate links. So I am an affiliate with Amazon. If you purchase a product in this video, in the description, or on my website, justadadapproved.com, I do earn a small commission from that sale. Now, I've got these lists created. This is the world famous Just a Dad whiteboard during these big sales events. If you want to see these whiteboards and all the robots that I highly recommend, check out my website, justadadapproved.com. That's just going to be the best place to go. Sometimes you don't have time to watch these videos. You can always go to that website. It will always be updated. And boy, is it going to be, it's going to be changing in the future. I've got a web team working on it. We're going to make that website the go-to place for robot vacuum cleaners. Right now, it's a little basic, but it does have the basic information, the robots that I highly recommend, my top list, and it's got the robots that are on sale. So again, I do appreciate everybody's support with that. So let's get started. Amazon Prime Big Spring Sale. We don't see these prices a lot. So we're seeing some really good prices. There's actually some robots that are not on sale that I thought might be on sale. So Roborock's only got a few on sale. The few they do have on sale are actually really good. Dreamy and Mova are hitting it hard. Eufy's got some robots on sale, Ecovacs. But my number one pick, the Mova P10 Pro, is $399. Now, I'm going to talk about that. But if that's all you get out of this video, that's my number one pick. Now, is it the best robot vacuum cleaner money can buy? No. But it's a price point for me. $399 is just a great spot to jump in if you've never had a robot vacuum cleaner. Okay, let's get started with the list. Roborock Saros 20. Some of these robots are so new, I haven't completed the 3-month real world test. So if it's a robot, if you see a little check mark here or something that I'm talking about, like, hey, you definitely need to buy this one. This is a great deal on a great robot. It has passed my testing. So not only do I unbox it, show you how to set it up in my videos, but then I take it to my home. I live with it for 3 months. How did I like it during that 3 months? Did it clean? Did I have a lot of hassle with it and then I show you how to do the maintenance. So rest assured, if you purchase a robot vacuum cleaner that I recommend, it's going to have all the videos to support what I'm saying about it. So again, these lists are going to be on my website with links to Amazon, and I do appreciate everybody's support. Let's get started. So here are the robot vacuum cleaners listed. It's going to be really hard to beat the Mova V50 for $748. We have more expensive robots, which I'm going to show you. You know, the closest thing is probably the 10R at $999, but the Roborock Curve X at $849 is actually a little bit, well, it might be just a little bit better for the price. Between the Mova V50 and the Mova P10 Pro, there might be a Dream L40S AE at $599. The Roborock Slim is kind of a sleeper. But this category right here, I really don't recommend these. I just recommend getting the Mova P10 Pro for $399. If you're wanting to jump up in price a little bit, you could get the Gen 2, does clean better for $98 more. But the 748 Mova V50 is absolutely amazing. Now, vacuum only, Dream D20. The Dreamy D20 for $259, which I'm going to show you. It has a mop. Don't install it. It's a terrible mop. It's vacuum only. Absolute cheapest one I'm recommending, D10 Gen 2, $179. Again, you can find all these robot vacuum cleaners that I have reviewed and highly recommend, and the robots that are currently on sale on my website, justadadapproved.com. And again, here's the standouts. So the Curve X at $849, it's really thin. If you have thresholds, the Mova V50 for $748, but the Mova P10 Pro, $400, does the V50 clean twice as good as the P10 Pro? No, but it's got some robotic arms that can go over thresholds. Dream L10S, this is hard to beat, $300. Now, the Mova P10 Pro does clean better for $100 more, but if $300 is your budget, the Dream L10S, that is what my mother-in-law has, and she loves it. Dream D20 vacuum only, $259. And the Mova V50 did win an award last year. That was my 2025 pick of the year, and the Mova P10 Pro. 2025 pick of the year. So the prices you're seeing in this video were current at the time that the video was taken. Prices do change all the time without notice. So again, that's just full disclosure that the price, when you go look at this robot, it may be at a different price. So there's some things going on here. Shark Power Detect. It's not a recommended robot from me, but they're doing something. They have a Power Detect for $659, but they have the thermal charged for $649. The thermal charged is better than the Power Detect, and it's $10 cheaper. So there's a lot of Eufy robot vacuum cleaners on here. There's a brand new C28, hardly has any obstacle avoidance at all for $499. It's just not a recommend for me. Some notable do not buys, the Dream D30. I've got a review on that. It doesn't have an onboard water tank, $458. The L40 Gen 2 is a do not buy for me, $399. Same price as the Mova P10 Pro. The Mova P10 Pro is a much better robot. Same with this L40S CE, $399. Nope, stay away from it. These are okay if you need to save a little bit of money. L10S Gen 2 Pro Heat. I recommend just spending a little extra money. You're going to get so many more advanced features with the Pro. Now, you do see some iRobots here. iRobot doesn't have a whole bunch of robots on sale at the time of this video, but even if they did, they're not robots that I recommend. We've got the iRobot, they're brand new, $705. It's right here, $799. That's just not a very good robot. It's had all kinds of problems. We've got iRobot 505, $499. They did drop the price on one of their robots. It's the L40. I forgot to put it on the board. The iRobot 405 for $300. Now that's going to be very tempting, but in my opinion, that's just not a very good robot. The Dream, if you're for $300, the Dream L10S is a better robot in my testing. But again, even if you can afford $100 more, you're going to get so much more, a better robot with the Mova P10 Pro. And again, the Saros 22 new, it's real expensive right now. The X60 is at my house. It's doing okay. I haven't given it my Just a Dead sticker seal of approval yet. The Mova Mobius 60, it's a robot that I don't necessarily think we have I don't think we need. It changes its mop pads. The Aqua 10 Ultra, it's not an approved robot by me, but it is on sale. This is the brand new Shark. Narwhal Flows, $900. That's a really good price, but it's not a recommend robot from me. The X50, that's a great price. That's the complete. And there's an X50 without the accessories. But the Mova V50, you can save $100. And the Mova V50 is just as good as the X50. Now, there is the L50 for $800. But again, Mova V50 just beats both of those. Below $500, it gets real saturated with a price point. And again, we've got Yeetie, this Roborock S5V, for $500, if you're wanting something for pets, I'm going to recommend probably the Mova V50 if you can afford it, or the Dream L40S AE for $599. This is not a bad robot. It just it lacks some of the more advanced features that I like. But boy, it gets very saturated around the $400. There's really no recommend from me other than the P10 Gen 2 for $498. It doesn't have a camera. Obstacle avoidance is not quite as good. And navigation, since it doesn't have the advanced sensor like the Mova P10 Pro, the navigation on it does not necessarily struggle in your house, but it's not as smooth whenever it's cleaning your home. It does clean and get back to the dock, but sometimes there is a little hiccups where it's just not the smoothest in cleaning because of its navigation. I know there's been a lot of talk about the Mova P10 Pro, the Mova P50 Pro for $494. It seems like a logical upgrade from the P10 Pro. There's been some problems with the P50 with the front wheel falling off. I haven't explored that fully yet, so it may clean better. It leaves the mop pads back at the base station, but I think I just recommend this one. And then if you want to spend a little extra money, I'd probably get the L40S AE. But this is kind of a sleeper. I'd probably get the L40S Ultra. I know the numbers get confusing. This dreamy L40S Ultra is actually really good for $500. And again, the thing about this list, you don't have to spend $1,600 to get an excellent robot. You actually can spend $400, get an actually robot that's going to do a good job at your home, very little hassle. You got to do some maintenance on it. Now, if you've got thresholds, and you're wanting the robot that's a little bit quieter, you can upgrade to the Mova V50 for $748. That's an excellent robot. If you want a robot to go under your furniture a lot, the Curve X, $849. The Curve 2 Flow is Just a Dad approved. It's the Roborock's first roller mop. It's $849. That's actually a really good price on it. It's a little thicker, a little heavier, but it's actually a pretty good robot. And again, vacuum only, Dreamy D20 $259. Okay, so here we have the Mova P10 Pro. Again, this was my #1 robot vacuum cleaner. It's gonna vacuum your home and mop your home at the same time. You can have it do a mopping only event, vacuum only event. But why do I love this robot vacuum cleaner? Again, I purchased this robot vacuum cleaner with my own money. I'm not paid for this video. This is the robot that I recommend to my friends and family. Right now, I have recommended this to my friends and family, about 6 people. Now, I'm not gonna recommend a robot that I think is gonna be a problem, give them hassle, because guess what? They're gonna be calling me if something's going wrong with the robot. So I've just checked in with everybody that I've recommended the Mova P10 Pro. Again, they were able to watch my setup videos. So if you're intimidated by a robot vacuum cleaner, I've got the video that shows you step-by-step how to set it up. Now, with that being said, everybody is extremely happy with the Mova P10 Pro that they got. So it has LiDAR navigation. This is just a really good robot vacuum cleaner. It's base station. It's got a clean water tank and a dirty water tank. You're gonna fill the clean water tank up. It's gonna wash the mop pads with hot water. It's gonna auto empty the dustbin. You gotta replace the dust bag about every couple months, maybe every month if you have pets. It's got an onboard solution tank. It doesn't use very much of it, and it doesn't fill the robot up with it. I put my solution in my clean water tank, and I have a whole separate video on that. So, and there's the advanced features we only see in more expensive robots. The first advanced feature is the side brush extends into the corner. It's just really cool to watch, but it does a good job of cleaning your home. The second one is the mop pad. So this mop pad can extend into up against your wall. It mops right up against your wall. It can raise and lower the mop pad. It has a carpet sensor. It has an onboard water tank. Now, some robots, a lot of narwhals do not have onboard water tanks. I think robots clean better with onboard water tanks. They actually spray water on top of the mop pad to keep it wet, and you can vary that. Now, one of the best upgrades for the Mova P10 Pro, this brush roller is not the best for pets, but you can get a tri-cut brush. It's got it just cuts the hairs that wrap around it. That's on my website, justadadapproved.com. You can find that under upgrades. And again, that website in the future, when you purchase one of these robot vacuum cleaners, it's gonna have maintenance tips, best upgrades. There's actually quite a few upgrades you can do to the Mova P10 Pro, but you don't have to do them out of the box. It's actually a really good robot right out of the box. So again, and then probably a hidden feature is the dirt detection sensor. So when this robot vacuum cleaner, whenever it's mopping your kitchen, let's say the dogs walked in, made a mess, but okay, it's Tuesday, the robot's supposed to go clear, you're gonna put it on a schedule. It's gonna go mop your kitchen. Okay, so, oh wow, there's a bunch of mud there. And the robot it's not gonna get huge mud piles, but it's going to get the everyday messes in a kitchen. It's going to capture that dirt into the mop pads. This is all while you're away or doing something else. So the robot's mopping, capturing the mud, taking it back to the base station. The base station's gonna wash the mop pads with hot water, suck the water up into the dirty water tank. But here's the trick and the magic. It's gonna pass through a dirt detection sensor. That water, whenever it's being sucked up into the dirty water tank, it passes through a little sensor. And if the water is dirtier than normal, the base station says, whoa, something's up. That room where you just came from, go remop it. I love that feature. That's a feature that's helping clean our house. We're not doing anything about it. Of course, I can always tell a robot, oh, I see a mess, go clean that room twice. All robots can do that. Well, not all, but most. But this is an automatic feature that we only see this dirt detection sensor. On that list that I showed you, I think it's only on about half those robots, and it's definitely only on the more expensive robots. So dirt detection sensor at $399, that's an excellent feature. Again, only more advanced robots I see it on. So now let's go to the Mova V50. Now, why would you want to get the Mova V50? And I'm gonna talk about the Curve X, and I've got the Curve, the Roborock Curve 2 Flow, I got the Slim here. We'll talk about some other. If you're wanting vacuum only, that'll be a little bit later in the video. Now, here's the Mova V50. This is, again, 2025 pick of the year, basically best money can buy. But wow, we're getting such a great price point, $748. It has a LiDAR that goes up and down. But the main thing you're going to get this for, there's two things. If you want a very quiet robot. Now, when it's vacuuming and mopping, you can hear the vacuum. But when this is mopping only, it's the quietest robot I've ever. I almost step on it sometimes. It's so quiet. So I do love that feature. Does it mean it cleans better? No. I mean, this one cleans, mops just as good. Now, this is if you have, well, there's probably three things. So it's quiet if you have pets. It's got a dual brush roller design here. So this brush roller, typical brush rollers are one piece where there's a pivot point on each side and hairs will wrap around it. And sometimes you gotta go in there and cut them off. They try to do other things. Even the Mova P10 Pro has a tri-cut brush, which cuts the hairs. It actually does a pretty good job, but this actually does a little bit better job. It's floating. One end has a pivot point. These are fluted. The long hairs are gonna wrap around, but they're directed to the end. There's not a pivot point here, and then they get sucked up into the dustbin. Now, a common misconception with robot vacuum cleaners. And I have a separate video on this. Let's say you have 3 huskies shed, or even cats. I'm realizing now I'm hearing cats shed a lot. I didn't know that. I've never had a cat. So if you have pets that shed a lot, all robot vacuum cleaners are going to struggle, even the most expensive robot vacuum cleaner. But there are things we can do. I have a separate video, and it's even on my website. I made an article about it. It's probably a little easier to read the article. If your dustbin is clogging, if your robot vacuum cleaner dustbin is clogging up from pet hair, I've got some things. I think it's actually going to help. Now, the third reason you might want the Mova V50 over the Mova P10 Pro is these robotic arms. If you have thresholds, when like you have step up or step downs, now not an actual step, but like thresholds, like a door, like a patio door, or just a mismatch in the levels. This has robotic arms that it can deploy, and then it lifts itself up over those thresholds, and then it comes back down. Roborock's got some ones that do it. None do it like the Mova V50, the Dreamy X50, and the Dreamy L50. The Roborock Saros 20 just came out. It's got those feet, so it's probably going to be just as good. But again, it's actually being delivered today. The Saros 20R, very expensive robot right now. But it's going to be 3 months before I give it my Just a Dad sticker seal of approval, because I got to go live with it. They really show themselves. Like a robot may do really well here, but when I take it home and put it on a schedule where it's cleaning my home twice a week, and I can tell right away, oh no, this is not a good robot. So Mova V50, but it is a little on the thick side. So even the Mova P10 Pro is a little tall because the LiDAR is fixed up at the top. Let's say the Curve X, this is, so the Curve X is $849. So it's $100 more than the Mova V50. It's not going to clean $100 better, but you're going to get one thing the Mova V50 can't. It's going to go under furniture a lot. Now, when I had this in my home, it likes to get in trouble, I say. I even had a hard time finding it a few times because a lot of times it will go under places that other robots haven't been, and it can get stuck once in a while. Now, when a robot gets stuck, you can just put a no-go zone there, kind of keep it out of that area, but this thing goes where a lot of other robots can't because of its thin profile. It does have a LiDAR that raises up and down. It's got all the advanced features. That was one of the things. The cover doesn't, like, I had it at my house the last 2 months without the cover. The cover likes to come off because it goes under things and gets pinched. But it's just a great robot. This actually Roborock does something a little different. They've got the split brush dual roller design. This is to help with pet hair. Again, my procedure on my website, if you have pets, is going to help with Roborock, Eufy, Dreamy, all robots. It's not specific to one brand. Even this brand, even with this design here, you're going to have, they are struggling with lots and lots of long hair. Mop pads raise up and down. Mop pad extends up to the corner. Side brush extends, carpet sensor. This one doesn't do really tall thresholds, but its shining light is low. Now here we got and again, the Curve has a really nice design. There's about 4 or 5 curves. They're not all on sale. There's only 2. There was the original Curve on sale, but it's not on Amazon. They ran out of stock. I think it's on their Roborock's website. It's an excellent robot. It was $6.99. I took it off my list because it's not on Amazon right now. And again, I do recommend purchasing your products from Amazon. I think I get the Amazon warranty. I'll put a link to it in the show description notes also. Amazon sells a warranty through a third-party company or something. I'm doing more research on that. I haven't had to file a claim yet, but I will do a video on it when I have to. So here we have the curve. All the curves have basically the same design. The docking station down here might be a little different. It's very attractive. Clean water tanks, dirty water tanks, dust bag. Roborock does have something that Dreamy and Mova kind of don't, and Eufy. They have a removable tray. This really helps with maintenance. I just take this whole tray over to the sink, clean it. I do like Roborocks for that. It's very easy. Now, here is the Curve 2 Flow. This is Roborock's first attempt. I'm glad they waited because I don't recommend any. There's a Narwhal Flow. There's the Dreamy Aqua 10, the Mova Z60. These are all first generation mop rollers. They've all got just little things that I don't recommend. You start getting into a hassle factor. And so Roborock's first attempt, I give it probably a B+. Robot's a little thick, a little heavy. Navigation is okay. This is just a dad approved. I'm just excited for what the future brings. Spinning mop pads have been around for a little while, and they're very refined. But this probably is the future. Again, split brush dual roller design. It does lift the mop roller. This is actually a really good price for a mop roller that has advanced technology. Again, the Roborock Curve 2 Flow, $849. But it is a little heavier and a little thicker. So if you find yourself carrying it up and down the stairs to do other floors, it might be a little heavy for that. Now, there is kind of a sleeper. This is the Slim. It's been around a while. I absolutely loved it. It's probably 2 years old. So here's what I like. I love seeing older robots that were very good. Prices starting to come way down. This was like a $1,200 robot when it first came out. Right now, the Roborock Slim, I'm looking at it, it's $699. Okay, that's a great price. Like the Curve X, you're getting an extremely thin robot. Now, this doesn't have a LiDAR that goes up and down like this. This is just thin all the time. I consider it LiDAR navigation. It's got a front sensor on the back and the front, and they call it Star Sight. To me, when I use it, I don't notice a difference between if it has LiDAR or doesn't. So navigation, no problem. Obstacle avoidance, very good. It does have a little older design. They call this the dual roller. Long hair is going to wrap around it, but it does have the mop pad that extends. It has an older design side brush, but it does extend into the corner. It has a dirt detection sensor in the dock. It's just very thin. And I like seeing robots go under toe kicks in your kitchen. You know, some of these taller robots, even the Mova P10 Pro can struggle going under a toe kick to get your kitchen floors perfectly clean. So again, kind of a sleeper, great price point. $699. Again, it's got the dock that you just take out and clean. So maintenance, these Roborocks get A+ on maintenance. The Mova P10 Pro, its maintenance isn't bad. It's just a little bit more work. You can take this to the sink, but you got to get a brush. Sometimes you got to get on your hands and knees. And there's a procedure in the app. I have a video that shows you how to clean that, but it's not too bad. It's just when you have a removable dock, it's actually a lot. So here we have the Roborock Saros 10R. They sell a 10. It has a flat mop pad. It's an okay robot, but I recommend the spinning. This is the 10R. Now it's on sale for $999. That's an extremely good price point, but it is the most expensive robot on my list that's on sale. Now, I don't really necessarily think it's worth it. It's an excellent robot. Don't get me wrong. This is just a dad approved. I had practically zero problems with it. It did a great job of cleaning my house. It's a little bit older robot, but it's got all the advanced technology. It's thin all the time. Again, it kind of reminds me of the Slim. The sensors mimic LiDAR navigation. This does have the upgraded dual split brush roller design, mop pads that go up and down. It can leave the mop pads back at the base station. You know, I don't necessarily, the Mova P10 Pro cannot leave its mop pads back at the base station and go do a vacuum only of it. I think that's okay because in the app we can tell robots, hey, go vacuum first before you wet these mop pads, so you're not dragging wet mop pads across your carpet, because none of them lift the mop pads to where they're not dragging on carpet, you know. So again, advanced technology, very good robots, $1,000. If you end up purchasing this robot, it's going to be a great robot for you. It's got a very attractive base station. It's kind of a glossy finish. It does have a solution tank. We've got the tray that comes out. So again, that's going to be an extremely nice robot. But for, you know, for if you don't need the thinness, the Mova V50 for $750 or $748. If you do want thin, I would probably get the Curve X. But if you want to save a little bit of money, again, nothing wrong. Well, when I say nothing wrong, it's just it's a good robot. You're just going to have to get you'll get some hair wrap around this. It's easy to fix. It doesn't damage the robot necessarily, as long as you stay up on top of it. So $700 for the Curve, for the Q Revo Slim. So now vacuum only. This is a huge category. And I think a lot of robot manufacturers are missing this. There's people that don't want these robots that vacuum and mop. Now, that may just be because they don't want the mopping, or maybe this technology has really advanced. This mopping technology, I don't mop my home anymore. So I don't mop our floors. Well, in the bathrooms, they do struggle with small, tight spaces. Our bathrooms are not very big, and there's rugs in there. So they're going to struggle in a small, tight space. But the kitchen, kind of the hallway to our front door, does the mopping job, does a great job. So if you're thinking robots don't mop, these newer robots that I'm recommending actually do a very good job of mopping. But vacuum only, there's two. The Dreamy D20, now, they made two. The Pro is nicer. It's $319. I like that the Pro has a side brush that extends. This, you know, it does help get when you're cleaning up in the corners. Both of them, I got the D20 up here. They both come with a mop pad. It's not a good mop. Just, you know, there's no technology to raise this up and down. At least the Pro does have a carpet sensor. The D20 that's not a Pro is on sale for $259. Great price. Just don't use it. It's not a good mop. You need to bump up. If you want a mopping robot, the cheapest mopping robot that I recommend is the Dream L10S right here. My mother-in-law has it. It's older. It doesn't have super high suction. Doesn't have some of the advanced features that we see on other robots, but it has a base station that auto empties, washes the mop pads. We got smaller clean water tanks and dirty water tanks, but so the D20. Now, there's a lot of concern about bags, bagless. I don't know, but I haven't had a problem getting dust bags. Now, I know it is a recurring expense. Unfortunately, there's just not a lot of bagless robot vacuum cleaners. The Shark AI, there's a white Shark AI for $279. It's okay. It's bagless. It's very old technology. The Shark app is very old. That's why you don't see a lot of Shark robot vacuum cleaners on my list. The technology that they're using is not advancing like these other manufacturers. So bag versus bagless. The more advanced ones, there's even fewer of the bagless robot vacuum cleaners. So I wouldn't worry about our bags going to be continuously made. These robots are going to be around a while. I think there's going to be third party making them. So being able to get a bag, and again, they're about $3 or $4, and it's every 2 to 3 months you have to replace it. So these ones that I'm recommending do take bags. I like bags because there's no extra filters to clean. And you just take the bag, throw it away. With like the Shark, there's 2 filters that get extremely dirty, and they're and the actual canister itself gets really dirty. You end up making a lot of mess just cleaning those. So, but this D20 has advanced technology. It has that dual brush roller for helping with pet hair, and that's about it. It's got high suction. It's got LiDAR navigation. Obstacle avoidance is not going to be the best. That goes for pretty much I know the middle of the pack, there's good obstacle avoidance, there's bad obstacle avoidance. If you're spending a lot of money, typically there's good obstacle avoidance. This lower end of the spectrum is typically, it's going to avoid a shoe. It's going to avoid, it's not going to avoid cables and different things. But the Mova P10 Pro at $399 actually has really good obstacle avoidance. So again, not just another thing why that robot vacuum cleaner is so high on my list. So again, the Dreamy D20. If you're strictly on a really tight budget, the D10 Gen 2, it's older. The Dreamy D10 Gen 2, $179. You're not going to get the advanced technology with the dual brush, suction's a little bit lower. It has a mop pad, just don't install it. It's not a very good mop. But it has a base station that auto empties it. It does require a bag. It has LiDAR navigation. The Dreamy app is very good. So if you're absolutely on a budget, the Dreamy D10 Gen 2. iRobot did drop the price on their 205 compactor. That robot's just kind of loud, noisy, doesn't do the best job. Even Roborock Q7 M5, I'm seeing $149. That's just an okay robot. It's very small. It doesn't, I would upgrade to the D10 Gen 2 for $179. Now, there's lots of robot vacuum cleaners. There's even lots of robot vacuum cleaners that have the Just a Dad sticker seal of approval. It can be very daunting. Hopefully you can go to my website, justadadapproved.com, and see, these are just the quick ones. There's lots of others that are kind of around the category. It's getting to be kind of a complicated category because honestly, you can spend $1,000 and get a terrible robot and you'll probably never buy a robot again because you just wasted your money. And especially going with an iRobot Roomba, I just did not have the best experience with those robots and they're kind of expensive. They are newer and they have some more better technology than their old ones, but still. So again, I have demystified robot vacuum cleaners. I purchase them with my own money. I'm not sponsored. Once in a while, I will contact the manufacturers just to get more information from them. Unfortunately, these manufacturers like Dreamy, Mova, typically all I see is what's in the ad. And I want to know more about these robots. So sometimes I reach out to them and say, hey, what are the more details? And sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. But again, I have a proven testing process. The Mova P10 Pro passed all my tests with flying colors. There's other robots that pass that test, but then their price point just ends up, it's just like, if you have a robot that is just as good as this robot, and this one's cheaper, I'm going to recommend the one that's cheaper if it's just as good. But you'll see a lot of, and that's where my website's going to come into play as price points change. You can see on my website, there's going to be a comparison table. I am so excited about this website. It's been I've started in December of last year. At the first web company just was not getting anything done. I had to select a new web company, start all over again. But I'm excited for what it's going to bring to you. That's why I do what I do. I want to get you the best robot at the best price, but get you all the information I have. This is what I do right now. For 2.5 years now, I've been highly focused on robot vacuum cleaners. And let me demystify it for you because I'm going to give you the recommendations that I give my friends and family. It's just that plain and simple. My mother-in-law doesn't want to upgrade. She has the Dreamy L10S. I've been asking her, hey, let's upgrade that one. But I get it. It works. She doesn't want change. So there's better robots out there, but it's doing a great job of her house. You've got to stay up on the maintenance. I have all the maintenance videos. You know, the Dreamy L40S, the manufacturers love to play with numbers, unfortunately, and there's like three or four L40Ss. There's a CE. That CE, it's just a very basic robot. It's just robots that, if you did buy it, you're going to get it home. You're not going to have hassle with it. It's going to clean okay. I just want to help people get, you could have, for the same price, you could have got a robot that's going to be less hassle and could do a better job of cleaning. L40S, this one actually is a really good robot. It's got the advanced technologies, side brush extends, mop pad extends. It's got the dual brush roller design. Again, this is the L40S, and it is $499, $500. Still recommend the Mova P10 Pro. It does have these little feet that go over thresholds. It does an okay job. A little bit taller than the Mova P10 Pro. So look for more exciting videos as the sales continue. If other robots go on sale, I'm going to be doing reviews. I'm going to be doing other videos letting people know. I'm going to be doing live streams on my YouTube channel. That way, you're going to have questions. I get a lot of emails. On my website, there's a place where you can contact me. I do try to look at those emails and help you out as much as I can. I love those emails because people have been helping me out. This is what I do for a living, but there are a lot of people that know a lot more about these robots than I do. Even though I feel like I live with them some days, they actually are really helpful, some of these emails. So again, justadadapproved.com. I'm so excited for that website. I'm having a meeting tomorrow, actually, with the team. We're going to get started on it. I'm excited for what information it's going to bring to you because I'll have the reviews on it, but it's basically going to have the best of, like, what are the best robot vacuum cleaners that I recommend. Once you buy, but then I want it to be the go-to place. Once you buy a robot that I recommend, I'm going to support you. I'm going to have the video, how to do the maintenance, but then I'm going to have, here's the parts. Oh, you bought the Mova P10 Pro? Well, here's the list of parts you need to buy every month. And I'm going to try to save you money. I do buy generics. Not all generics are the same. I do like the OEM dust bags and brush rollers. Those are very good. But there are actually some places where we can save some money, sometimes a lot of money. So again, justadadapproved.com, live streams coming. I'm also doing live streams over on Amazon. I do have the Dreamy X60. I got the X60 just came in. There's some other, I got the Shark UV Reveal. What else did I get? I got some EcoVacs sitting over there. I just haven't had time to review them. I'm just so excited about this. These sales events is when I just stop what I'm doing and, like, we got to make this video, get the information out because there's just a lot. I'm looking at the list right now and there's just a ton of robots on sale. But once I do that whiteboard list, which I'm going to do every single time, it took me about 2 hours this morning. I got here at 6:30. I started on that list. It just takes a lot of editing to get them all in order. And even with all that work, I still missed 2. But once I do that whiteboard list, it just becomes very apparent where the deals are. Well, yeah, there's 30 robots that I approve of on that list, but, well, that one's cheaper. Oh, and this one's a little bit more expensive, but it's not worth it. So just becomes very list. I can narrow down all those robots that are on sale. I got about 50 robots listed there on sale. Narrowed it down to about 3 or 4, just kind of like bing, like 3 or 4 price ranges, and you're good to go. So again, always justadadapproved.com. Again, those are affiliate links. If you click on a link on my website or in the description of this video, the product's not going to cost you anymore, but I do earn a small commission on the sale. It's a way of helping support my channel. And again, the way commissions work, if I recommend you a robot and you return it within 60 days, not according to the return policy, but if you do return it, I don't get the commission for 60 days. So let's say you buy a robot, it's a hassle. You're like, oh, this thing, I'm gonna never send it back. I don't get the commission on that. So again, I'm not going to recommend the robot that I think you're going to return. And again, it's going to be you're getting a family recommendation. I'm getting a lot of people asking me now, robot vacuum cleaners are the future. And iRobot, Roomba, while they made the brand right now, they're not the ones that are innovating the most and giving us the best robots for what we can afford. So again, justadadapproved.com. I do appreciate everybody's support. If you could, please like, subscribe, and thanks again.